Hi, I'm Karlee, and welcome to your hip mobility routine. You don't need any props today, so just a mat or some open space, and join me when you're ready. If you don't have time to do this video right now, save it to your watch later playlist and join me when you can. Alright guys, we are going to start standing up today, and we will be doing this movement on one leg to start. So if you're a little nervous about your balance, I would say stand close to a wall or have a chair nearby for your opposite hand to hold. So we'll start by grounding into the left foot. So you can have your left hand on a chair or both hands on your hips. And we're going to start by circling the right knee up towards our chest, out to the right, and back down through center. Now we're going to start smoothing out those edges, just make it a little bit more fluid here, just like that. So here, I'm already engaging the core, but I really also want to feel this in the hip flexor. So this is that front of the right hip crease, and this is going to start mobilizing the hip joint and also firing up the hip flexor here. Let's do 2 more going this way. Awesome. Now we'll go right leg out to the right in external rotation, through the center and dropping back down to the middle. Just like that. Up and over. Now I have a slight bend in my standing knee just to protect this left knee from locking out too much and hyperextending. Let's do a couple more in this direction. Awesome. Now we'll ground into the right foot. So bring your chair to the right if you're holding one. Slight bend in the right knee to stabilize. Left leg lifts up in front of us, out to the left, and back down. Here we go. Just like that. Start to smooth out those edges, but I am keeping it very slow and controlled. So even though I'm warming up the body, I'm also firing up the mind here with that mind-muscle connection, going nice and slow so I can feel everything that's working in the body. Let's do 2 more in this direction. And we'll switch left leg out to the left, through center, and down. Just like that. I just heard a nice click in my hips. So we know we're warming up the hip joint. We got 3. And 2. And 1. Excellent. Now bring your legs out nice and wide, wider than hip distance here. My legs are externally rotated again here, so my hip bones are going outwards, and my toes are also pointed outwards. So hips, knees, and toes are always going to be in a line. So we're stacking our hip, knee, and ankle joints. I'm going to bring my hands to my hips again, lunge down towards the left, keeping this knee open wide sensation so I can feel this in the inner thighs, up to center, and down to the right. So we're doing some lateral lunges here to now warm up the inner thighs. If you want to go lower, you can, but I want you to keep your heart pointing forwards. And we're going to do our best to keep this left heel on the ground, or at least close to it. And if the right toes come off the ground, that's okay. Now we're strengthening up to push back up. Down to the right, and up to center. Awesome. So you can keep it high or bring it down low. Few more just like this. Then we'll be heading down to the ground. We've got 2 more on each side. Last one here. Awesome. Come down to a seat with me now. We're coming into a 90-90 position with the legs. So ideally my left shin is parallel with the short edge of the mat here, and then my right shin is parallel with the long edge of the mat. And this is just the ideal. If your angles are about 45 degrees, that's okay, but we don't want too much wider of an angle here. Awesome. Now I'm going to stabilize myself with my hands just to start. We're going to lift the back heel off the ground and then the back knee off the ground. Just like that. Trying to keep the same angle here. And I'm trying to keep my torso nice and steady. So I'm not leaning too far forward or too far back. I'm trying to keep a nice straight spine. And just focus on this movement coming from the hips. So you'll feel a little pinch in the back when you lift your heel, and a little sensation in the front when you lift your knee. You've got it. Now, if you're able to keep this steadiness, you can try this without the hands. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Excellent. You can bring your hands back down while we try this next exercise. We're going to lift this whole back leg off the mat and down, trying to lift and lower super gently. And if your leg is not lifting up today, that's okay. Just come back to that ankle and knee movement. And the more you do this video, the stronger your hips will get. So we've got 3 more of these. Notice if your knee's coming forward, scooch it back in line. Last one. Excellent. Now I'm going to lift the knee, drag the heel up to meet my left heel, and send it back nice and slow. Knee in line with the hip here again. We've got 4. We've got 3. I know you're gonna end up leaning a little bit to the left. That's okay, just don't totally fall over. Stay up as nice as you can. Last 2. Last 1. Last thing on this side, I'm going to use my hands while I bow my chest forward over the left leg, but keeping a nice straight spine. Release my hands, come up with no hands. So we've got 5 like this. Lean forward, long spine, release the hands and lift. If you're not there today, use your hands to push you back up, but see if you can feel most of the movement coming from the glutes. And one day when you do this video, you'll be able to use less and less weight on the hands and come up without them. Last 2. Last 1. And switch to the other side. So now my right shin is parallel with the short edge of the mat. Left knee's in line with the left hip, and my left shin is parallel with the long edge of the mat, or as close as we can get to this position today. Now we lift heel and knee. This feels a lot easier after all of the advancements on the right side. But remember, use mind-muscle connection. Feel all of these different movements firing up in the body. Maybe you have your hands on the ground to keep your spine up nice and straight, or you start to release the hands and try keeping your stability with just the core and the hips. Taking this nice and slow. Make sure you control on the way down too. It's not all about the lift movement, it's also about the lower. Last few here. Last one. Now we'll lift the entire back leg and try not to lean too far to the right. Lift and lower with control. This one's very hard, I know. If your knee keeps coming forward, keep sending it back. If you really want to see improvements in your hip mobility, I would recommend doing this video about 3 times a week. Every day it will get a little bit easier. Last one here. Awesome. Now we bow the chest forward, straight, long spine. No hands, and lift. We've got 5 like that. Inhale down, release the hands, exhale up. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Excellent. Meet me in a tabletop position. We'll just do a quick stretch for the hips. Step your right foot forward between your hands into a low lunge. Bring your hands up onto your knee and give yourself a nice stretch here. Push the hips down and forward. Chest is proud. Shoulder blades pinned together to open up the chest. One more breath here. Half split, straighten the right leg any amount, doesn't have to be perfect. And lean your chest long and forward just for a quick hamstring moment. You can flex and point through your ankle joint here if you like. And we'll step back, tabletop. Left foot steps between the hands for a low lunge. Bring your hands up onto your left thigh. Sink the hips forward and stretch it out. Press your shoulders away from the ears. Hips sink forward. And release, half split. Straighten through the left leg. Hands come down to the ground, and we'll point and flex through the foot. And step back to tabletop. And you are done. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you're feeling nice and mobile in your hips. If you want more content like this, download our app called Yoga Plus, and I'll see you next time.
Hey everyone, Chelsea here. I would love to take a moment to introduce you to our app, Yoga Plus. You will gain access to an incredible collection of videos led by top instructors in yoga, fitness, nutrition, and so much more. Download our Yoga Plus app today and get a free 14-day trial.